Welcome to another lesson in personal finance. I'm Jim Munchback. I will be your host, your facilitator, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. It is summer school, and I forgot to put on my Apple Watch today, so I think today is July 2nd. It's July. It is July. Already July, summer school. So I'm waiting for some students to join in the Zoom room. Hopefully the link works. It should. And if you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook, welcome. Today we're going to talk about, wow, we're already in what in the normal session would be week number 9 and week number 10. Week number 9 is basically introduction to investments, investment basics. And this is the lesson in the week where I typically would uh, introduce you to 4 investment strategies designed to maximize returns and minimize risk. So that is what we're going to cover a little bit today. And also then week number 10, which is asset allocation. We will focus on different asset classes and how we use those asset classes to create an effective strategy. One of the most important strategies we're going to talk about today is asset allocation. So welcome, Gabriello. Can you hear me? Gabrielle, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. Good, you can hear me. Thanks. Welcome. So that's basically the two lectures we're going to combine into today. One is uh, the perfect investment strategies designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk. This is typically the most popular lecture, the most popular week, the most popular topic in personal finance. So it is summer school and it is 10:01, so we're still a little bit early. I'm going to give folks a chance to join the Zoom meeting. But again, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, we're live streaming. We're also live streaming to LinkedIn. So if you're a student at the University of Houston at the Bauer College of Business, or even if you're not, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, I hope you'll click over there and let's connect. LinkedIn is my favorite social media platform. It's like Facebook for professionals. So anyway, we should be streaming to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and also X. So we live stream these lectures so that my students at the University of Houston at the Bauer College of Business can easily access them. But mainly, the place you want to go, just FYI, this video will be saved to this semester's playlist at YouTube on my YouTube channel at Jim Munchback. And Munchback has an H on the end. So if you want to find the video for this semester, as you know, you will go to uhplaylist.com. It'll take you right to the playlist. All right, so it's 10:03. Let me just bounce through a couple of things that we're going to be looking at. We're going to look at the 4 investment strategies. Again, these strategies are designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk. We'll go through those. And we'll talk a little bit about investment basics. Your homework this week really is the key to learning what you want to learn and need to learn when it comes to investments. There's a lot of information posted for you in Money Study Group. That's where I've tried to orchestrate the content that you're going to want to dive into this week. So it is all about investment strategies, basically part 1. Since it's summer school, we're doing, again, 2 assignments, 2 lectures in one. And so that is the game plan for today. One thing I want to mention, I'll talk about this today when we get started here in just a minute. But if you're here early, I want to give you a heads up. I posted. You've done a couple of Quizlets, or at least one this semester. I created a new one for today's lesson. So what you're seeing on the screen there is just the test that I posted, and this is in Money Study Group. So this is hopefully will help you. It's not a big deal. There are up to 49 questions. So I created 49 questions in this Quizlet, and that is 49 flashcards. So a flashcard will be what you can use to basically digest and learn and become familiar with the terms that are in this week's assignment. In fact, I'm going to jump right over into, this is the post that if you look in the description of the video on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this, you'll see a link, and the link goes to this post. So I just created this post yesterday. It's just basically an outline. I call it the perfect investment, Billy's 401k. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. It is time to get started, so I'm going to jump right on into the I'm going to get started, and let me jump over here. We are live streaming, so we should be good to go. Welcome if you're in the Zoom room. Feel free to type in a chat if you have any chat. I will try to find my chat. If you have a question, just speak up. There are not that many folks in the Zoom room, so I'm assuming that, well, I know most students are watching on YouTube or will watch on YouTube as we live stream. So let's get started. Again, this is in the normal session, this would be week number 9 and week number 10. Investment basics or introduction to investing, or 4 investment strategies designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk. That's really the focus of this week's lecture. And then the next one is asset allocation. And basically with these 2 assignments, and you'll see them posted in Canvas, and you'll also see a lot of content that is in Money Study Group for you to learn the ideas, the principles, the information that you need to take advantage of this investment opportunity. I say investment opportunity because what you're going to learn this week is really the most important elements you could possibly learn about investing. And so I want to just kind of help you get ready to become an effective investor. So let me just go over I'm going to go over what we're going to cover and what you're going to learn, because the truth is today I won't have enough time to teach you each of these strategies. It's just, there's not enough time in summer school. So that the good news is, though, you have content in Money Study Group where you will be able to spend more time and learn these principles. These are 4 investment strategies that are really designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk. And the 4 investment strategies that are listed on the screen, it's diversification, asset allocation, dollar cost averaging, and portfolio rebalancing. And by far, when you get into Money Study Group, you'll read a story about the Enron experience. If you don't remember Enron was a huge debacle in American stock market history. Enron was a Houston company that was cooking the books. And so I had several clients who worked with Enron, and those who had taken the company's advice to invest more and more and more into Enron and Enron stock, they lost everything. And so I had some other clients who were smarter, and they basically diversified. And so diversification, I use the Enron story just to highlight the importance of diversification. The next one is asset allocation, and asset allocation is hands down the single most important determinant of your portfolio's returns. So you're going to spend a good deal of time learning about asset allocations, and to do that you need to understand asset classes. So that's the second, really, and the most important investment strategy. Number three, I think it's the most powerful investment strategy for younger people who have a long time to invest. It's called dollar cost averaging. And we'll use Farmer Joe's example. You'll have a video that you get to watch about me teaching this principle or this strategy, dollar cost averaging, using Farmer Joe. It's a fun video, fun lesson, and you'll get to see that in Money Study Group. Finally is portfolio rebalancing, just where you take, you basically systematically on a regular basis rebalance your portfolio to put it back to the original asset allocation that you chose when you started. And so those are the four investment strategies. Billy's perfect investment, again, is if we go to the post, this is the post that I created, and in this post, it's just an article basically to help you connect all the dots in this lesson and next week's lesson, and these two lessons, investment basics and asset allocation. And so this is what I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes, Billy's perfect investment. And I basically used an 8% return, an annual return. So when you invest, you have some kind of return. It could be positive or negative depending on what you're investing in. But if you invest with a basic portfolio that I'm going to show you how to use, and you're going to choose a basic portfolio when you jump into your Right Capital financial plan. You're just going to grab one it's very simple to do, and you'll see how to do that when you get into your plan. You can use the asset allocation models that are there just to select one, or you can create your own, whatever you decide to do. But what we did with Billy is we set up his 401k. This is what I call the perfect investment. And so Billy has a company match, and let me just go ahead and tell you about the perfect investment. Most people have an opportunity to go to work for a company. And if you work for a company in the private sector, now if you go to work for the government or you work in a nonprofit, it's a little bit different. But if you work for a regular company, and I always assume that because you're in a business college, you're going to get a job at a company. And so a company typically offers a 401k. That's a retirement plan for the company and the reason they do that, one reason they do that, the 401k is a type of account that helps you save for retirement, but some companies are more competitive and use the 401k plan to attract talent. So when you get out there and you start looking for a job, you want to make sure that you look at the package that they have, all of the benefits really, but one of the benefits is the 401k. So the way it works, if you didn't know this, and this is what I call the perfect investment, because it's the only investment I know of where you can double your money pretty much up front. So in this case, Billy goes to work for a company called Bayrock Concrete Services. It's a fictional company that I just made up yesterday. But anyway, Billy goes to work when he's, I think, 25. Yes, 25 years old. That's how we set up this scenario. And he's making 95 grand a year. I should have said 100,000 a year just to keep the math simple. I always do $100,000 a year. But for some reason, yesterday I said Billy made 95,000. So that made the math a little bit more complicated. But just think about it for a minute. If you work for a company, and I think $95,000 would be a pretty good starting salary for a 25-year-old. So these numbers, again, are fictional, but they're just designed, this whole article, this whole lesson, this whole story about the perfect investment is designed to help you understand and connect the dots for how your retirement planning can work when you get that job that you're hoping to get after you retire. So in this case, Billy's salary, 95 grand. Let's say it's 100 grand. He makes 100 grand. That's easy, simple math. So just listen to me for a minute and pay attention to the numbers. If you go to work for a company that's paying you $100,000, and if that company, like Bayrock Concrete Services, the fictional company we're talking about, if that company offers you an 8% match, what does that mean? What does that look like? So the way that works is if you go to work for a company and you're earning $100,000 a year, and your company matches 8%, first of all, that means you have to contribute 8% of your salary to your 401k if you want to receive the company match. Okay, so just make sure you understand that. We're talking about a type of account, a 401k, which assumes you're working for a company that provides this benefit, this retirement benefit called a 401k. The reason it's a 401k is because the IRS code names each paragraph, and the paragraph that this type of account, 401k, the paragraph that it's in is, you guessed it, paragraph 401 and K. So that's all the 401k type of account is. It's a subchapter in the IRS code. It's a type of account. That's a very important thing to understand when we're talking about investing, when we're talking about investments. On the one hand, we have a type of account. And then on the other hand, we have actual investments. And they're two different things. So I want to set the table and just help you understand. In this scenario, we're talking about the perfect investment, but then I'm also throwing in a little bit of a curveball because I'm setting the table with a type of account. And it's the most common type of retirement account we all are familiar with. It's a 401k. So again, the scenario is Billy's making $100,000 working for Bayrock Concrete Services. And he has decided, because he took this course, that absolutely yes, without a doubt, day one, he's going to sign up for his 401k. So when he goes to orientation on day one and Human Resources explains to him how it works, his benefits package, when they get to the 401k paperwork, Billy knows he's going to sign up for it. He's going to say yes. And he's smart enough to know before he even took the job what the company match was. And you need to know that too as well. You need to know what match does the company provide. It's a very important piece of the puzzle for how you measure the quality of the job offer. But in this case, it's an 8%, which is pretty good. And Billy knows, he's smart enough to know that in order to get that benefit, he has to contribute 8% of his salary. So if you're making $100,000 a year and you have to contribute 8% in order to get the match of 8%, how much do you have to contribute to your 401k? I just got to notice that my battery is dying on my phone because I didn't plug it in, and I'm not going to plug it in now. So hopefully it'll make it. If you lose me, it's because my phone died. So what's the answer to the question? You can post this in the comment if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. And if you're here in the Zoom room, you can post it in the chat. What is the amount that you would have to contribute, that Billy would have to contribute if he wants to get the 8% match? And the answer, very simple, because we're using very simple math. $100,000, 8% is $8,000. Now, the next question is, at the end of that year, how much will Billy have in his 401k plan? If he contributes 8%, which is, again, if we're using $100,000 to keep it simple, that's $8,000 he contributes. But then the company turns around and matches the contribution. So he gets a total of 16 grand in his account in the first year. Now, there are some things you should be aware of, like vesting. So if you go to work for a company and you work there for 1 year and you contribute and you get the match, but then you move to a different company after the first year, you will lose your match. You only get to keep that if you stay there. Typically it's 3 years. So if you stay at a company for 3 years, then you generally will get to keep that match. And so most people don't work at the same company for their entire career. And if that turns out to be you, then when you quit, when you leave, when you terminate, you basically take your 401k and you roll it over into an IRA. Now, next week, we're going to talk about types of accounts, and we're going to talk about tax allocation. And that's another topic. But in this lesson, I wanted to set the table for types of accounts by introducing you to what I call the perfect investment, which is your 401k, because it's the best way to build wealth, to take advantage of the perfect investment. Many people don't do this. I've been a financial planner for a long time, and maybe you wouldn't be shocked and surprised to know, but I was shocked and surprised to learn how many people didn't take advantage of this perfect investment opportunity. Can you imagine working for a company and not taking advantage of the company match? But people do it all the time. The way they do it is they just decide when they go to work for a company that, yeah, they're going to contribute a little bit to their 401k, but they don't contribute enough to get the full match. So that's what I want you to do. That's my goal for this lesson this week. Well, this week is 2 lessons combined into one. But my big goal for you is to understand how the perfect investment works so that you can take advantage of it on day one, starting on day one. And that's why I wrote this article about Billy, who went to work for Bayrock Concrete Services. And he was 25 years old. He worked there till he was 67 years old. He got a return of 8%. On his investments, and he also had an 8% company match. So coincidentally, those two numbers are the same for no reason except I was in the 8% mood yesterday, I guess. My phone's ringing again. I should have put it on airplane mode. I'm using my phone for a webcam today. So that's the perfect investment. And the other part of the perfect investment that I want you to understand, this comes into play again. We're going to talk about types of accounts. And the second law of personal finance is the law of tax advantaged investing. And that's really why the perfect investment is so perfect, because it is taking advantage of that second law of personal finance, which is the law of tax advantaged investing. The IRS makes the rules. Your job is to take advantage of those rules. And the 401k is the perfect example of tax advantaged investing, because when you contribute that $8,000 to your 401k, instead of making $100,000 a year, the IRS says you get a tax deduction. So if you get a tax deduction of $8,000 and you're earning $100,000 a year, what does the IRS tax you on? What do they say that you actually earned in that year that you deducted $8,000 from your $100,000 income? The IRS says you only made $92,000. So you only have to pay tax on $92,000. So therefore, that money in your 401k is growing tax deferred. And that's a huge, important piece of this puzzle. So as you go through this article and you understand Billy's 401k strategy, and you start to understand these 4 investment strategies that are built in to this perfect investment: diversification, asset allocation, dollar cost averaging, and portfolio rebalancing. I don't expect you to master these in this moment, but I do expect you to plant the seed in your mind to be familiar with the terms: diversification, asset allocation, dollar cost averaging, and portfolio rebalancing. Look, these are the 4 investment strategies that are definitely, absolutely, perfectly designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk over your investing lifetime. If you want to build wealth, these 4 investment strategies are a great place to start. And so that's what we've built into this article about Billy and his perfect investment. And that's where, by the way, you're going to have some. Let me just jump over here real quick because I want to jump in now and talk a little bit about part of your homework assignment. This is actually in Money Study Group right now. It's a Quizlet, and it's based on this article that we've been talking about in Billy and his perfect investment strategies. His perfect investment, rather. That's his 401k, where he executes these 4 different investment strategies. So part of your homework this week in week number 9, investment basics, I believe there's no quiz in Money Study Group. There is now a Quizlet. So the Quizlet includes some flashcards, which you will see when you jump in there. And these flashcards will just help you learn the terms. And it's basically right out of this lesson, this article, the post for today. So in addition to the Quizlet, I wanted you to know when you go into Money Study Group, you're going to see there's a PDF, a downloadable PDF, and it is the test. So if you need like a cheat sheet, it's right there for you to grab. It's a lot of information. In this article, there's a lot of information, and I really want you to begin to understand it. The Quizlet is easy. It's not difficult. You get to select up to 49 questions. You can impress me and say you want to answer 49 questions, but whatever you decide to do, at least 20 questions, you will get to jump in there and look at the flashcards and understand what's going on with the terms. You have a multiple choice to connect the dots on the terms. They're all right here in this article. And again, you can download the PDF cheat sheet. So it's not my intention to make this lesson difficult, but there is some very important information. It's basic information, but it's important that you understand asset classes, that you understand the difference between a large cap stock, a small cap stock, an international stock, a bond, a U.S. government bond, or a U.S. corporate bond. These are all different types of assets. So asset classes. And when we talk about the second investment strategy, which is asset allocation, which is the most important determinant of your portfolio's returns, you can't begin to understand how asset allocation works if you don't understand the difference between asset classes. So that's one thing you're going to learn this week. And I know that may be new to most of you, but it's pretty basic when you're talking about investments, and it's an important building block for you. So that's why we're doing the Quizlet, to help you learn that, and then you can apply that learning this week as you go work on your financial plan. And again, it's very simple to do. When you jump into Right Capital and you begin working on your financial plan for this week's assignment, you're going to have to allocate assets in your plan. You're going to set up your own 401k. And again, that's all in the Canvas assignment. You're going to set up a 401k, you're going to set up a Roth IRA, and you're going to set up just a taxable account. Those are 3 different accounts you're going to add to your financial plan in Right Capital this week. And so each of those are different. When we get into tax allocation types of accounts, you're going to see that I just mentioned 3 different accounts: 401k, Roth IRA, and just it's a taxable account, just a regular account. And so those are 3 different types of accounts, and only one of them has no tax advantage benefits. A taxable account doesn't qualify for any tax benefit. So it's a taxable account. The others are tax qualified accounts. 401k is a tax deductible or tax deferred account. And that's an important term. Tax deductible, tax deferred. A Roth IRA, on the other hand, it is a tax advantaged account, but it's considered really the only tax-free account I know of, the Roth IRA. So I want you to learn about that, but you're going to learn about that next week. But this week, you're just going to set up an account and you're going to pretend that you got your job and you're 10 years older. So therefore, you need to set up these accounts and pretend that you've been funding them. So that's why this article with Billy becomes something that can be helpful, because in this article, Billy has done that. And you get to see kind of a fast forward. What does that look like in Billy's life with just this one type of account? So in this article, we're only dealing with Billy's 401k. We're not dealing with his Roth IRA or his taxable account. But in your financial plan, you're going to have all three of those accounts, and they're going to be added to your plan this week. So that's what you'll be sharing screenshots for me with me for this week's assignment. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, the Quizlet is part of this week's. It replaces the quiz in Money Study Group. And now it's time for this week's class collaboration. So we're at 10:30 a.m. right in the middle of the lecture. And I want to ask, if I can, I think this is probably not the right one. Yeah, this week's class collaboration. This week, what I want you to do, I want to ask you to help me. It's summer school. Honestly, I'm asked every year to teach summer school because I'm told that there are lots of students who need or want to take summer school. And so I feel like it's an opportunity to help the community, to help the students, and just it gives me a chance to I'm always trying to upgrade, improve the course. So if I work on it in the summer, that's usually a good time for me to focus on what I want to change in the course. But here's the question. Here's the class collaboration. Here's what I'm asking you to do this week in the secret class collaboration. I want you to tell me, since you're participating in summer school with me this semester, I want you to tell me, what are your thoughts in terms of the difficulty? So how challenging is this course to you in summer school? And when I say difficulty, I have a pretty good sense of the difficulty level of this course in terms of a regular session. But summer school, it seems to me, this is my opinion, I want your opinion. I want you to tell me your opinion. My opinion is it's crazy. It's like I would not want to, knowing what I know about this course and how much it can help you, I would never encourage a student to take this course in summer school because we just cram too much information too fast. And I'm not sure that it's effective. I'm not sure that it makes sense to teach this course in summer school. I'm doing it because, again, a lot of you wanted it. And so I'm just asking you to share with me your opinion about the difficulty level. Like, are you managing this okay? This week is a good example. It's not difficult. Like, you're not going to have to spend a whole lot of time if you're pretty familiar with these concepts and you're willing to just go in and play around in your financial plan and write capital and create these three accounts and select the asset allocation. It's going to be a helpful experience for you, but there's a lot of information to prepare you to do that if you're not really kind of, in a rhythm with financial planning. So all that to say, I'm curious. I want your help in this week's class collaboration. I just want you to talk to me a little bit, give me a paragraph or two, and help me understand where you are in terms of how you're processing this course in the summer with all that we're throwing at you. Is it overwhelming? Is it just too much? Is it just right? I don't think it is, but I know some of you, it's probably like you've committed to the summer to work hard, spend a lot of time, and you know you're getting a 3-hour course in a very condensed amount of time. So you're getting, you're getting a lot out of the summer course, but it just, we have to pack so much in. I'm very curious. So I appreciate that. That's this week's class collaboration. And so let's jump into the next topic. I want to talk about week 10. This is just the asset allocation section. We've already talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of highlight asset classes because, again, asset allocation, which is really the key to a successful portfolio. It's one of the 4 investment strategies designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk. But asset allocation is all about different asset classes. So I've just listed them here on the screen. And in this week's study, you're going to be spending a little time just learning about different asset classes. And you don't really have to be an expert. I mean, I'm not asking you to be an expert. It really becomes super simple in terms of managing your investments. Because once you do the first thing, the most important thing, the thing that I hope you've already decided to do, which is sign up for your 401k on day one and already know, having done the research about the company and the job, you already know what the match is going to be. Therefore, you can quickly determine how much you're going to contribute so that you get the full company match. Once you've made that decision, then whatever company you work for, they already have the investment options predefined. So it's super easy for you to select. If you've never done this, it may seem complicated. And when you get into your right capital plan, hopefully it will seem really simple and you'll be like, oh, this is super easy. You'll just be looking at these different asset classes and you'll be allocating your investments in a percentage to each of them. So that's just really the first step. And once you've done it, it'll become very, very simple, very easy. But you're going to do that in your 401k. You're going to have to say, okay, I'm going to select these different asset classes for my 401k. That's the type of account. But then the investments, it's all based on those asset classes that you select. So that's really one whole lesson is asset allocation, because it's where I want you to learn how to do, how to select assets in your investments. Again, you have types of accounts. Your 401k is a type of account. Your Roth IRA, a different type of account. Both of those are tax qualified, or both of those would fall under the tax advantaged investing category. And then the third one is just a taxable account. And you can invest in the same things in all 3 of those accounts. Okay, when you understand asset allocation and you understand asset classes, it becomes very obvious that you can invest whatever you want to invest in each of those 3 different types of accounts. The tax qualified, both of the Roth IRA and the 401k, those are both tax qualified accounts. One is tax deferred and one is tax free. The other one, the third one, is not tax qualified. It's a taxable account. Now, let me just distinguish between, this isn't on the test this week, but it's helpful. It will help you prepare for next week's lesson. A tax deferred versus a tax free account. A 401k is a tax deferred. When you invest money in your 401k, you get a tax deduction. You pay the taxes on that account when you take the money out. So I am now old. I'm 62 years old. When I turned 59 and a half, I was then allowed to take money out of my tax qualified accounts. And I didn't get a penalty for that. However, if it was a tax deferred account, which was my 401k that got rolled over into what's called a traditional IRA account. It's a another type of account, a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. Those are two different, and you're going to learn about the differences. But just understand that when you move from one job to another or you retire, you take your 401k and you typically roll it over into an IRA. It's usually just called an IRA. IRA stands for, most people think it stands for investment retirement account or individual retirement account, but it doesn't. It stands for individual retirement arrangement. Technically, that's what it stands for. But anyway, an IRA is a tax qualified account. It's a tax deferred account, which means when you take the money out, while you get a tax deduction for putting the money in, you don't pay the taxes until you take the money out. That's why it's tax deferred. When you take the money out, then you pay the taxes. But a tax-free account, which is a Roth IRA, when you put the money in, you don't get a tax deduction. But when you take the money out, you pay no taxes on the gains. Therefore, it's a tax-free account. So again, both of those accounts, are all three of those, the 401k and then the IRA that you would roll that over into when you terminate or retire, the 401k and the IRA, those are both tax deferred. But then the Roth IRA, which is tax free, those are all three tax qualified accounts. Okay. And then the taxable account, I want you just to understand that. That's why I keep repeating it. The taxable account it doesn't get any special tax treatment. So if you invest in Apple and you make a lot of money and then you sell Apple, you're going to pay taxes on the gains. But you don't do that in the tax qualified accounts. You only pay taxes when you take money out. And if it's a Roth IRA, you pay no taxes. So we're going to talk a lot more about that. But anyway, that's really part of this week's assignment. So now I want to just kind of highlight a little bit about your capstone assignment. So your capstone assignment, that's like where you put it all together. So this week, part of your homework assignment is to do the capstone review. I just want you to have kind of an overview of the capstone assignment. It's basically all of the assignments you've done all semester. But when you do the capstone assignment, you're taking each of those previous assignments and you're putting it all together into one capstone report. And so I want to just give you kind of an opportunity this week to think about and prepare for your capstone assignment because it's coming up pretty quick. So you have an assignment. Well, it's not an assignment. It's just a resource for you called Capstone Review in Money Study Group. And that's where you get to see all of the elements, even the ones that you have not yet done. By the time we finish this week with both investment basics and asset allocation, by the time you finish this week's homework assignments, you will have your financial plan and right capital pretty lined out. We'll still have tax allocation, which is really just another assignment where you will be tweaking what you do this week. And I know that may not make sense to you right now, but it will. But all that to say that everything you've done this semester and each of the assignments you've already done, those are going to go into your capstone assignment. So one of the things I want you to be aware of is you're going to have questions about your capstone assignment, and I want to make sure those questions get answered. Up to now, when you've had questions about assignments, I've suggested and encouraged you to ask it in GroupMe, and I think that's been working okay. I've gotten good feedback from students who are both contributing by answering questions in GroupMe and other students who are the beneficiaries of those students who are helping out by answering questions. So hopefully that's working for you. But in this particular part of the semester, your capstone assignment is very important, and I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to have as much input from me as you need to get an A on your capstone assignment. It's 200 points. So It's a big deal. It's required. You can't blow it off. It's like the final exam, but it's not difficult. It may take you a little time, depending on how you're doing overall. And again, I'm going to just re-mention this week's class collaboration. I'm hoping you'll tell me, how are you feeling? How are you doing? What is the difficulty level you think that the summer school session is for you? Is it way too much? Are you doing just fine? Just give me some feedback and help me understand how you're doing. The capstone assignment, again, the capstone review is just where you put it all together. If you have questions, specific questions, if you're struggling in your financial plan, now's a good time for you to put together, excuse me, put together an email. I think I have somewhere in my list. If you'll just put together an email and just help me know what you're struggling with, then I will be happy to put together a tutorial video for you. I'm looking for, not finding it. I should have had it ready. I will have it next week, and it's already posted in your playlist where you can request a tutorial. And how to do that is mainly through an email. I'm sorry, I'm still looking. Here we go. I think I found it. No, I didn't find it because it's in the wrong place. So sorry about that. So when you want to ask me for a tutorial, it's pretty simple. You're just going to send an email and you're going to give me some screenshots of what you're struggling with. Ask me in as detailed a way as you can in that email. And just, ask for help. Tell me what you're struggling with and give me some screenshots so that I have some context. I'll be able to jump into your plan. And here's where I need your permission, because if you send me an email and ask for a tutorial, I'm hoping we can use that tutorial for other students who may have the same question. So if you have a question and you want me to prepare a tutorial specifically to answer your question, I'm happy to do that. I just need you to send me an email, tell me specifically what you're struggling with, and give me some screenshots. Tell me what you've done to try to solve your own problem. And again, screenshots are the best way for you to communicate to me what you're struggling with. So if you'll do that for me, I commit to you that I'll put together a tutorial and I'll post it in our playlist so that other students can benefit from that. But when you send me the email, remember, you've got to give me permission and say, yes, you can use my plan to create a tutorial. Now, nothing in your financial plan in Right Capital has any personal information other than your name. And if you want, I can try to shade that out when I do the tutorial. But that's what I need from you to create the tutorial video to help the rest of the class, and mainly to help you. So hopefully that's beneficial. I am going to end today kind of early because I've got another appointment and I need to get ready for that appointment. I think what we've done today in preparing for this lesson is you've got a lot of information in Money Study Group, and that's where you're really going to learn. The actual assignment in Canvas refers to the things that you're going to need in Money Study Group. So if you have questions, do let me know. Again, if you have questions related to the assignment, the best place to go is GroupMe. But if you're not getting your questions answered at GroupMe, you can send me a text message or an email, and I'll get you an answer to the question. This week is, I think it's probably the most challenging assignments you're going to have. It's just, if you've kept up until this point, then it shouldn't be difficult at all. But if you're struggling and you're behind, then this week is where it kind of is coming together, and we're quickly moving towards the capstone assignment. So I hope you're doing great. I hope you're handling it well. I'm a little concerned just when I jump into the queue and start grading this week's assignments, the ones that are posted right now for this week, for this upcoming week. I'm hoping you do fine. Now I'll tell you this. I'm going to be grading your assignments very liberally, just because, again, I have this perception that we've just dumped way too much on you. But, some of you, many of you, have proven to me that I'm wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong about this. But I also recognize that some of you are struggling, and it is a lot of information. And so, all that to say, a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to be liberal when I grade your assignments this week. But number two, and this is always, always an important reminder, and see if I can. I'm looking for my reminder that you get extra credit for being early. And so I don't see it handy. I'm not finding it. Hold on. So, because I say it, here we go. Hopefully this works. Yeah, there we go. So hopefully by now, because I've mentioned it a lot. If you turn your assignments in by Friday at 3 p.m., you do get extra points. But more than that, you get feedback from me to say, hey, this is what you're missing. Go fix it. And then resubmit your assignment by the due date, which is always Tuesday at 10 a.m. So again, that's one of the things that I would like for you to do this week in particular. If you can manage to turn your assignments in early, that would be great. I know there's a holiday this week, Thursday. But we're meeting on Tuesday, so we're having class this week, and there is 2 assignments due this week. But again, I'm going to grade them very liberally, and I know it may be difficult for you to get your assignments in early by Friday at 3 p.m. So who knows? I might be giving those points, those extra points, even later than I normally would. So who knows? I may not even get around to grading your assignments Friday. It may be Saturday or Sunday or Monday. So just FYI, when I don't get around to grading your points, this is no guarantee, but it certainly happens on a regular basis. If I don't get a chance to grade your assignments on early, Friday at 3 p.m. is when I typically do it, but this week's going to be different. So if I don't get around to it until later, then you would be the beneficiary. If you turn your assignment in early, you still would then get some extra points and some feedback. So take advantage of that. My A students, it's not difficult to see which students are going to be way ahead of the game, and it's always the students who take advantage of this offer, this opportunity. So I hope you'll do that. I hope you can do that. So I need to find my I'm getting ready to end, but I want to see if I can find the chat and see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions. So I am going to jump back over here and I'm going to end the live stream. Actually, I think I'm going to end the Zoom meeting now, and then I'll end the live stream. So again, if you have any questions, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, post them. Actually, if you're a student, you're going to want to post them in GroupMe. But if you have a comment, do feel free to post a comment and leave a comment. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This is being posted in the uhplaylist.com on my channel. It's my personal channel at Jim Munchback. Munchback has an H on the end. I'm now going to end the Zoom meeting for everybody. The meeting has now been ended. And so I am going to check. I'll jump over to YouTube now and make sure this video gets posted in the correct playlist. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Have a great week. and I'm going to hit the end.